Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome to the channel. So I got another Dayz video today, and in this one I'll be showing all the loot that my brother and I found while running through Solnichi town as fresh spawns. We come across a duper's tent city, a whole heap of car tents just behind Solnichi town, full of loot and in plain sight. Now I don't like what duping has done to the game, and as easy as it probably is, I don't see any point in doing it. But until the problem is fixed, we just have to learn how to deal with it. Dupers bases are the new military camps now. Anyway, I'll be showing you guys the server as well. There isn't much loot left, but if you're playing on Xbox and need to acquire a car tent, there is still plenty there. So these clips are where I open up the tents for the first time and get to check out what we got. I'll also be showing you guys how to put items into a packed up tent, which I had to figure out when I realized I didn't have anywhere to put 4 car tents. Alright, well, let's get into it. Okay, so on to tent number 1. At the time I'm recording, this was the first time I got to see what was in these tents. And at the moment, I can't record my voice with my gameplay, but that should change within the next couple weeks. "500 slots full of magazines." Because of the way the tent inventory works, you can only see the LAR and M4 mags though. There is also AK and 308 rounds in the middle. Like, who needs that much ammo really? Anyway, moving on to the second tent now. I have a bit of trouble figuring out where to place this one. Also, at the time of recording, I was playing solo. I was just a little nervous putting up all these tents. Again, if any of you guys are on Xbox, I want to share this loot around, especially to the people who haven't had much of a chance, if any, to use an assault rifle. Either way, let me know down below, whether it be an LAR, M4 or AK. Leave your gamer tag, I'll send you a message and we'll sort it out from there. We've almost got a spot here. Full of top tier weapons. I'm pretty sure my jaw almost hit the ground when I seen this. Again, I can't use all these, so leave your gamer tag below. I forgot to mention the M70 Tundra. There was quite a few there, so they're up for grabs as well. Just leave your gamer tag below. They probably don't spawn anymore either. I did find one at Devil's Castle 2 weeks ago, but it was the only time I've actually gone looking for one. So on to tent number 3 now. Once we find a place to put it down, we'll see what's inside. And here we go, perfect. Looks like we've got 5 ghillie suits, complete with helmet, goggles, boots, face shield and gloves. Now it's time to see what's in the last tent, before I show you guys how to do the new tent glitch to pack all of this back up. With this, you're able to fill up a tent's inventory and then put that full tent in your own inventory, or into the inventory of something else like a sea chest or even another tent. So this tent is obviously the utilities. There is bandanas for bandages, lockpicks, water pots, megaphones, duct tape, and an assortment of scopes, all except for the ATOG, RVN and PSO1 scope. So that's all of the car tents we were able to bring back. By the time we got back there the third time, most of the stuff worth taking was gone. Up next, I'll quickly show you the weapons we were able to bring back on our first run. So this here is the loot that my brother and I brought back on our first run when we first encountered these tents in Solnichi. We didn't want to spend too much time there because there were shots going off left and right and everywhere. I assume there was like 2 squads fighting a war or something in that area, I'm not too sure. But we just grabbed as many weapons as we could and hightailed it out. Got back to base, decided to stash them, and then went back. That's when we got the car tents. So now that we're done with all the loot, it's time to show you guys how to fill up a tent's inventory while still keeping it packed up. Now to start off, we need an empty tent. There is no way to pack up a tent that has anything in its inventory, camo net included, so it all has to be dropped. As well as needing an empty tent to transfer your items, you will also need a secondary tent packed up and on the ground to make your character stutter as you try to walk over it while unpacking the tent that's in your hand. All I'm doing here is unpacking this tent so I can use its inventory space to clear another tent and so on until everything is all packed up. I'll skip ahead until I'm on to the next step. Okay, so now I have the car tent ready to be filled up. You can see the gear I had to drop just in front, and I need to find a place where I can get the bright prompt to set this tent up. I'll try and explain this as best as I can, but when you find a nice spot, drop the spare tent on the ground and place the tent you intend on filling in your hands. If you have nothing in your hands slowing you down, you should be able to walk over the tent on the ground just fine. But if you have a tent in your hands trying to deploy it, you will be slowed to a walk while trying to walk over the tent that's on the ground. And that will make your character stutter like they're having difficulty stepping onto the tent. After a second or so of trying to walk onto it, your character will glitch and be standing on top of the tent. It's right in between this transition that you want to hold the right trigger to start placing the tent that is in your hands. It usually takes a few times, but you know it has worked if there is no progress circle. But you can still hear the tent being set up. And then it looks like this. Okay, so a quick recap. So first, you want to find a spot where you can actually deploy your tent. It's not going to work if you don't have the prompt. Once you found that spot, you want to place down your secondary tent. I find it best if I walk backwards onto it. And while you're in that glitched step, you want to try and place it. Remember, no progress circle means you've done it properly. And then you're set up. Now this is what you start filling. Alright, now so once you've successfully glitched out your tent, or glitched out the animation anyway, so it looks like it's set up into your hand. Now you're able to put the items into the tent's inventory. And now how you do that is you have to select the item that you want to move into the tent's inventory, and you just want to press B and combine that item, and that will move it into the inventory of the tent that's in your hand. That's the only way to do it at the moment. You can't hold A and move it over. So it's going to take you out of your inventory every time. It's quite monotonous, but it's the only way to do it. But once you've done this, instead of placing your tent down normally with the right trigger, all you want to do is drop it out of your inventory or hold X to drop it out of your hand, and it's just going to be a packed up tent on the ground with a little plus symbol, meaning that there's items inside it. So there you go. It's as simple as that, guys. Okay, so here we are where it all began. Just outside Solnichi on the road leading west towards Dolina. After I got everything packed up, I respawned to get here faster. Also, I enjoy being a freshie every now and then. As you guys can see, there are still plenty of these tents around. The server is AS4464. If anyone needs any of these car tents, come grab them. They've been here for a couple of days now, so it will likely be worth your time. So to all you guys that are still watching at this point, thank you all so much for the support. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos and getting my gameplay out there, and I apologise for the crappy quality of the videos and the audio, but I'll keep doing the best with what I got until I can get better. Also, remember, Xbox players in need of some gear, make sure you leave a comment and we'll get these guns shared out like they should be. So again guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions or video ideas you want me to do, just let me know and I'll get right onto it.